What is going on, world? Sports Game Vision is back in the building with a new episode of No Face Sports Show. We're going to touch on topics as you can see here: RG3, Jaylen Brown, Jason Kidd, Jake Paul, Kaepernick, Curry, Hamby, and the WNBA lawsuit. And we're going to, touch the bases on all this stuff, plus other things as well. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all the free stuff. We like free. I definitely like free stuff. And this is definitely easy to do, and you can help the platform grow. On the No Face Sports Show. Hope you're having a great day, a great week, and a great weekend. But as we move forward, we're going to start off with the lawsuit. Dearica Hamby, and she's filed a lawsuit against the Las Vegas Aces and the WNBA itself. It's a tough situation because she's playing in a league. She just represented the country and the WNBA in the Olympics and won a bronze medal. Congratulations to her and the ladies on that. But this is a situation where she felt the team was biased in her pregnancy and targeted her. They've already been punished before, with Coach Becky Ham being suspended a couple games, and the Aces have lost a draft pick as well. So they kind of were proven to be in the wrong already. And now, as you can see here, they say Dearica Hamby has filed a federal lawsuit against the Aces and the WNBA, alleging that she faced repeated acts of discrimination and was traded for being pregnant. The lawsuit alleges she was forced to vacate team provided housing. Aces players and staff were told to not communicate with her, and Aces attempted to wrongfully obtain medical records. I read some articles on this situation, and basically she signed a extension with the Aces, a 2-year extension. This was after the first championship season. And then after she signed the extension, she announced publicly that she was pregnant. This was maybe a couple of days to a week after the signing of the contract. At that point, I think they were thrown off guard. I think also they didn't let her go to the White House to represent the team as well during that time. But she said that, Coach Hams told her that she wasn't taking the game serious and that she, basically was, not doing things for the team to put the team first. And it just seems like maybe they had some type of agreement of her not having another child while she got the second contract or the extension, which is, that's kind of weird. Especially since if you look at the total situation, she had the child and she got traded to the LA Sparks, and she played the whole season last year, even though the Aces won another championship. She played a whole season with the Sparks and all the games. So she would not have missed any games with the Aces. So it's just weird how it kind of, got rid of her because of the pregnancy, possibly. Well, obviously the WNBA thinks it's possibly mainly true because, again, they were punished with a draft pick and the coach was suspended. So now, also, Hamby said that her finances was compromised. If you don't know, Vegas, I believe Nevada has a no taxes or very small taxes. And, of course, California has a huge tax implications. And so she's trying to recoup some of that money. The WNBA players cannot play in the overseas to, broaden their financial status. So she's trying to recoup some of that money, and she's making the Aces and the WNBA liable for that. I believe they'll probably hit in a settlement more than likely because, again, they've already admitted some wrongdoings. So she's probably going to get something out of this. Right now, she's actually with the team. They're not doing well record-wise, but her playing, she's averaging 19 and 10 a game. She's a former 6th Woman of the Year and a 2-time All-Star. So, all this will be resolved soon. It's a shock that she's still playing while this is going on. But she has to do what she has to do to make sure that she's getting everything she needs recouped. But we'll keep in, contact with this situation and report on it some more as more events happen and it moves forward. Yes, yes, sir. We're going to move forward. A lot of this show is going to be a lot of topics, but I'm going to try to keep it brief as possible. When we do this show, we'll try to keep it shorter. If not, we'll try to build the show up with maybe guests or call-ins at some point. But right now, this is how we got it. We're reporting news and giving a little bit of having a little bit of fun with the sports talk. The next topic that I have for you here is Jason Kidd and Jaylen Brown coming through, creating a fund to help the community and the Black and underserved communities that they're representing. Jaylen did it in Boston already. Once he signed a historic contract last year, was the highest one until his teammate got it this year. But he also is partnering with Jason Kidd in Oakland to set up the same type of program in Oakland, because I forgot that number one, Jason Kidd is from Oakland, and then number two, Jaylen Brown played for Berkeley, which is close to Oakland or in Oakland, and Jason Kidd was his mentor. So they got a good friendship, a good relationship, good mentorship. And Jason is from Oakland, so he wants to help his community, provide business training, real estate training, technology training, and try to, create a better wealth economic situation in his neighborhood, and of course in Boston, where Jaylen is playing right now. They want to help make those communities, learn more and grow more financially for, I guess everybody really, but I'm sure they're going to focus on the youth. It says Jason Kidd and Jaylen Brown have launched Oakland X Exchange, a nonprofit focused on bridging the racial wealth gap in Oakland, also in Boston. Joining the Boston Charter chapter, the initiative aims to generate $5 billion in net worth for historically marginalized communities. So, yes, this is definitely. I read the article on that. These brothers are investing their own money in there as well. I think something like Jason Kidd did something around 2 million. Jaylen did somewhere around 10, and yeah, they're definitely trying to help the community grow and help the wealth gap not be so wide in the minority communities or underprivileged communities, which is, I think, is a great thing and a noble cause. And I'm looking forward for much success. And also, if you want to help your community or help things change, you have to be the change at times, especially with with the people that have the actual access to wealth and other wealthy people. And I'm sure they're reaching out to other gentlemen. They even said in the article they're looking forward to other people doing it in other cities, and also to help them in the cities that they're working with right now, to all the people that are financially blessed to help. And where the government is lacking in, the people that have made it will help try to teach and reach the community to be able to eliminate the wealth gap as much as possible. So yeah, it's all about going out there and doing what you can, and they're taking that step forward to make that happen. Shout out to both of them brothers. Jaylen is the Finals MVP, Eastern Conference MVP. Should have been an Olympian, but that's okay. He'll get in if he wants to the next time. And of course, the Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. So shout out to those brothers as well. And again, we with the No Face Sports Show. We're just talking sports, and we've already reached talking about the WNBA lawsuit and Jaylen Brown and Jason Kidd. Now we're going to talk a little bit about, which is on this other cover here. We'll pull up the graphic, and we're going to talk about my guy RG3. That's right, RG3. I don't know if you've heard the reports. He was released from his contract. Him and Sam Ponder as well. She has over 10 years of experience in ESPN, and it's a very different sight to see that they're letting them go. Reports are saying that it was because of budget. Both of them are making close to a million or over $1 million a year from what the reports say. So it's a financial reasoning. Um, and also, not to mention what these Olympics happening right now, Disney being the parent company, and ESPN being very tight on how they want the company represented. They both commented on the gender controversy with Angela Carini and Iman Khalif in the women's boxing division, both on opposite sides of the fence. RG3 was in support of the fight, and then Sam Ponder was not in support of it. So it could be something to that. Of course, donors, and that's money if people want to pull dollars from ESPN because of that. The gender issue that could be part of it as well, costing the money for making comments on either side of it, and not being approved, because we know when you represent a company, you work for a company, even after hours, you're still representing that company. So maybe that's what it was. Also, the big paycheck, the big tax implications for the company, for both of them having big contracts and maybe having some contract negotiations going on. Maybe they felt it was better to let them go. And then also with Sam Ponder, they say that she speaks about a lot of political uh, things on her platform, which could also be frowned upon with ESPN. We know that happened with Jamel Hill, and when she was let go. So, they don't like that, especially if it doesn't align with what they want. So it could be the multitude of things that got them released on their day off, like it's Friday. It is Friday now. It was Thursday yesterday. But anyhow, yeah, that's part of it. They're both bounced back. It's a big landscape. They're elite talent. They've got great experience. Of course, RG3, if you watched him on the college game days and all that, he's, anything football related, he has great expertise. He has fun out there with the fans. And even on social media, I don't really see him go crazy. He's in support of, just great sports conversations. So, yeah, I think they're going to both bounce back with Amazon being in the game, NBC being in the game now. You've got other platforms, even Netflix. Netflix has got the live sports, all that stuff going on. So they'll bounce back. Plus, their platforms have been, I'm sure, grown exponentially since they've been at ESPN. But yeah, that's an interesting situation that they let them go on their day off. And ESPN to me is sort of like, one of my favorite sports and favorite things to do or watch is wrestling. And I feel like WWE, they almost don't need to let nobody go. They have so much they can utilize their talents, especially the wrestlers. They put them on so many different shows, so many different platforms. And I feel like they could do that with ESPN and their talent as well. But of course, we know it's all about that financial base and how they feel it's going to affect the company in that way. Of course, the overall outlook of you may be costing them money if you do something publicly. So, yeah, we know they'll bounce back. We know they will bounce back. But let me know what you think in the comment section about that situation. And now we're going to talk about a little bit about the Olympics. The Olympics. We just brought up NBC Peacock, and they had an amazing Olympics in the 17 days, 30.6 million viewers per day. Now, these are old school numbers. Now, we're talking about before cable TV was really big, before all the streaming platforms and internet was invented and social media. Everybody tied into one television, and they put in 30 million, 50 million, sometimes 100 million per event, per show. Those are the old school numbers. Now it's spread across mediums, your phone, your tablet, your computer, all those good things. And NBC is very impressed with the viewership and also getting the advertisement dollars. I watched I was into, of course, the basketball, and then I watched the gymnastics, the track, and the wrestling and the boxing, and various other things that popped up on my screen. I believe it was um, volleyball popped on. I think they had, didn't they have like wiffle ball? Not wiffle ball. What's that thing called? It's almost like tennis, but it's not tennis. They had handball. They had, of course, the break dancing. So they had quite a few things that I was interested in watching. Great success for them at NBC. And of course, we know they're going to get the NBA pretty soon. So they're on a move. And, they were still worried about cable cutters because they are still having the cable cuts. Comcast, the parent company, Universal, they lost quite a bit of viewers on the cable side. But of course, that's why they have the app now. They're trying to jump into this streaming world, and they're doing a pretty good job. They have pretty good shows on there, and of course, the sports and all that stuff. So, yeah, shout out to NBC for putting on a good Olympics. And I can't recall ever since I've been watching the Olympics it being anywhere but NBC. They've always been on NBC from what I can remember, even as a little kid, a young teenager, and all that stuff. So, yeah, shout out to NBC, and I think they'll probably hold on to those rights for quite a while. We'll continue to talk about the Olympics a little bit here. We've got Ice Cube talking about the Netherlands. He issued a challenge to the Netherlands, Ice Cube and his Big Three company. Whoever won the Olympics in the 3-on-3 tournament, he issued the challenge, and the Netherlands, they accepted, but they're getting blocked. So he says, to Netherlands' credit, they accepted the challenge, but it's FIBA. FIBA is scared of the Big Three, so FIBA is preventing them from playing in our All-Star game. Doesn't look like it's going to happen because of that. It sucks when politicians get in the way of sports and fandom. And, Ice Cube was watching the Olympics. Especially basketball. He's a huge fan of basketball. But he saw that the American, especially on the men's side, they got 7th place or something like that. So he just said, we can bring a better crop of people out there and represent the country. And he feels the Big Three, who are full of former NBA players, and even some that were just, recently in the NBA, they've opened the doors as far as age wise of letting guys in at a younger age, and also other professionals that may be playing across, different leagues. But yeah, they've got professional guys over there that I'm sure would do well. He offered $150,000 pot for the winner, also paying expenses to their flights and hotels and all that stuff, travel. So they wouldn't have to come out of pocket for anything, but the FIBA was going to block their playing in any of the World Cups, the World Championships, their registration to the World Leagues or the FIBA or whatever the council name is that lets them play in these games. They were gonna say they was gonna deregister them, and they wouldn't be able to do it. So they decided not to play the friendly. And of course, I believe that's this weekend All-Star game and then championship for the Big Three. Shout out to Michael Beasley for being MVP of the league. That's my guy there. But yeah, this would have been a great thing for the Big Three. Even if they lost, it'd have been promotion. And I think it would have been a good game either way. Nobody was going to get blown out I don't think the Big Three would have got blown out. So I think the Netherlands would have showed up and played well as well. So yeah, shout out to the Big Three. They're getting blocked a lot, but Ice Cube keeps it going. I like the league a lot because it does give opportunities for other people to play professional basketball. If you can't get in the NBA, you can't play European leagues or overseas, you can always play there and have an opportunity to play there. So I love it. And yeah, shout out to Ice Cube for trying to expand the game and bring more attention to it. Yes. But again, like we said, we're going to talk about the Olympics, and we're going to touch on Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant bringing the gold home for the NBA, for the USA, rather, America. And they had a great showing. So when we look at this here, the question is, what would their record be if they teamed up together for one season? And I kept saying to myself, the three of them should be able to get you close to 50 wins, just the three of them. You need a cast. And I started to think about it a little further. What if the three of them went to either teams? You got three different teams. So you got Phoenix, you got the Lakers, you got Golden State. You'd have to look at all those rosters, put them on it. Off the top of my head, I know all three teams would make the playoffs in any variation they go to. Now, I do think that they're not going to play all three together. There's going to be two. So the two pieces are either going to be Curry and Bron or Curry and Durant. I don't see LeBron and Durant playing together. It'd have to be something that was mainly pushed by Durant himself. But yeah, I mean, those guys play well together, and I think that they would look awesome together on a team together in the NBA. But to be honest with you, I saw this floating on the net. I thought it's pretty funny. Steph Curry and his totals in Paris before wife came there and then after wife came there. Yeah. It seems like she worked a little magic to get him playing in those games and hitting those big shots. It was the wife that gave him the shoulder rub, and he went out there and did the shimmy and night everybody. And to be honest with you, she probably deserves the gold medal herself. As you see, he got the shirt on night. Yep. So the Curry family helped bring home that gold for sure when she got out there. Shout out to the Curry family. Thought this was pretty funny. Shared it with everybody here today. But yes. We're still talking about Olympics. There's a lot of storylines that have been going through and going on. I'm sure it's going to be more that I'll be talking about on the platform. It's probably going to sprinkle through for a while because we're going to prepare to go to the Intuit Dome. I believe that's what it's called in LA. When it comes to LA, that is the Clippers' home for basketball and for events. They're moving. I think it opens this year, and but that's where it will be. And when it does open, we got a guy that wants to be there. A few guys, actually. We got Jake Paul says he wants to box in the Olympics. The American men have not been winning any medals, or they didn't win gold in the Olympics, rather. So he feels he can do a better job. And he says in 2028, he'll look to do that. He's 10-1 now in his professional career. Shout out to him. He's been training well. He's being trained in boxing well. He has to fight more boxers though, so that he wants to be a cruiserweight champion, he says, but it's going to take a little bit more for him to get there. Having this amateur, or I guess you would call it amateur, on his resume and he'd win, that would be great. But of course, in the meantime, he has to improve his professional career. And we say that, and we'll look at this here. That's right. You see, the date was changed. He fought Mike Perry in the slot that he was supposed to fight Mike Tyson in. Mike got injured or hurt and had health issues. So it's moved. I don't think this fight is going to be a fight, in my opinion. From all the stuff that we've been reading online about these stipulations, I think they're going to have a good showing. They're going to promote Netflix live sports. The other fights you see on here, Taylor Serrano, Goyat, Nunes, probably real fights, I'm sure. And those are the fights. The undercards are probably going to be the main stuff. I don't see the top main event being a real. It'll be an exhibition, and promoting Netflix in their new live sports category. So, but to say that too, let me sidebar here with this Netflix thing. I've been with them for a while. I'm sure a lot of you guys have too. But their membership is getting crazy. They keep going up on prices. I was grandfathered into a price. They maybe forced me to make a pick. And you got the ad campaign now. You got the middle base and the top base, which is $25 a month. I'm not paying that. Went to the lower tier with ads. Hopefully, from what I see now, it's all Netflix produced stuff. So maybe, and hopefully I can watch this fight. If not, I'll find a different way. But yeah, the other movies that they don't, or television shows that they don't produce, you got to sign up for the bigger package. So just want to let you know it was an annoyance to me, because then all the family started telling me what's going on. Hey, they keep changing the prices, so ain't nothing I can do about that. I'm not gonna keep going up and up and up. So ads for me or nothing at all. But yeah, as we continue to talk about the sports, we actually going to continue to talk about the Olympics. And as they go into the Intuit Dome or Center, whatever they're going to call it, they're going to bring 5 new sports into the building. And we've got baseball and softball, flag football, lacrosse, cricket, and squash. And all of them should be pretty cool. Like baseball should have been there years ago. Flag football will be, if you ever played it, it's fun. I know the most guys are going to want to see the hidden. I don't know how easy that would be to bring into the Olympics. So this is a version that they can bring and have fun and spread the NFL or football reach into other countries. And they'll probably want to start branching out globally, hopefully, after they see the success of this, if it's successful. But I mentioned boxing. I read an article that they have not allocated or signed the paperwork to let boxing come to the 2028 Olympics, and that would be crazy. I think they've had it since 1912 or something like that. It's almost a necessity to have that at the games. I'm hoping they rectify that pretty soon and make sure that it's there. What do you guys think about these sports? I think that they're pretty good. In the comment section, obviously, let me know what you think, you like, dislike, and what should be there. Should breaking be back? I know they said it's not going to be in 2028. If it's talked about enough, they probably should bring it back, especially with being in LA. I'm sure they got a pop locking scene still there, hip hop out there. I mean, even Ice-T used to pop lock, and even a Vin Diesel used to be a pop locker back in the day. So I'm sure they got a scene out there that can come to LA and do it even more justice, the breakdancing. So yeah, we'll see. Let me know in the comment section. Again, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But as we talk about the flag football portion of it, our guy, Colin Kaepernick, he's trying to play in those games. I mean, I believe he's like in his late 30s now. He'll be in his 40s then. I believe he should be able to do it again. You're not tackling. As long as he hasn't lost all his athleticism, he's still in good shape. He should be able to do it. So we'll see if he'll be able to make the team. Interesting news, but also with beyond Olympic news, he's still trying to make the league. He said he's still trying to get back into the NFL, and he wants to play. His coach came out, his former coach, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was his former coach when it was initially said. I was like, oh, that's right. He did coach him before. Jim Harbaugh offers Colin Kaepernick a coaching job with the Chargers. What do you think about that? I think it's very interesting. Now, I've read reports already. He put a filler out there a while ago. He talked to Colin, and now I guess it's too late. So I believe it was as yesterday. Jim Harbaugh said the coaching positions are full and the playing positions are full. So he's not going to be able to do anything with Colin this year, but I'm sure he'll still look out for him in the coming season as he stays as a coach with the Chargers, which is in LA now, if I'm not mistaken. I always say San Diego because that's where I remember him, a little old school. But LA Chargers, they are, going to move forward without him this year. But if Colin really wants to play, if he really wants to play in the league, my suggestion is just to, if you can't get a tryout or anything, why don't you just try to go to CFL or even the UFL and play there. If you really want that competition, you're going to get high level competition there. And if you play well, they're going to call you up because you're a big name. So if you just want to finish your career with the shoulder pads on, the helmet, that's a way to do it as well. just to get it out your system, and then going and Jim Harbaugh is basically giving you a bridge back into the league, and then doing the coaching would, I think, help mend some fences that maybe be broken inside those behind the scenes, activities and people. So yeah, shout out to Colin, and of course to Harbaugh for give him a chance to get back. So as we move forward, we still will talk about the Olympics. We will definitely talk about these Olympics, as we got our guy Carmelo Anthony saying that a medal means something totally different than an NBA championship. It's the passion, it's the pride for a country. Carmelo Anthony says he wouldn't trade his gold medals for an NBA championship. That's my guy, one of my favorite players all time. Melo is that dude. He doesn't get enough credit for it. I know people have their opinions of him, but he was an elite player. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot when it's time for him. He got a short end of the stick as far as getting booted out the league. He probably have over 30,000 points at this point right now. Maybe an opportunity again. When you miss that time, you never know what team or what he would have been on to maybe win a championship. So that was blocked as well. His biggest chances obviously would have been the draft with the Pistons. That didn't happen. He went to the Nuggets, and they've had some good years, but with the coaching and button heads, they didn't work out there. The Knicks didn't work out. And the Rockets, I think wasn't he a little bit too late for that one too? Going against Golden State, they could have used them maybe in that series. They went 0 for whatever in that series, the 3-pointers. OKC didn't work out, and then he just missed the championship season with the Lakers when he came there. So it's just been a tough situation. I think that when you got 3 gold medals and you got a bronze as well, I think you should be able to give up one, Melo. Give up one. I mean, I know it's a big deal to win the gold medal. It's a world championship in a sense. But, if you think about soccer, those are premier leagues. And they got the World Cups, and they got the Olympics. I'm sure the elite players would want to win those, but they also would want to win a championship in the Premier League. So that's what the NBA is. In my opinion, it's a world championship because it's the best league still. I know that you got the other leagues rising up and being more competitive, and as we see the Europeans definitely coming in the league and being the top players, but we're getting more parity across the world. And you see Adam Silver's even trying to make it NBA Europe. Basically, he's talking with FIBA and seeing what they could do to either get games or another league over there to go along with the Australian and the Euro League and China and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's a world championship. Would have loved to see him get one. This is his feelings. This is what he feels. So it's cool. But yeah, I definitely would have loved to see Melo get a championship in the league. But shout out to him. He was out there repping the country, and I'm sure he's got a big part in USA basketball, and probably still will in the next coming Olympics and to go forward. But yeah, just to touch on that real quick, I just thought, in my opinion, you should get one, man. Just get one. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section. But still touching and keeping on the Olympic vibe. I don't know if you guys saw Dr. Dre is trying to compete in archery in the 2028 Olympics. I don't know if you've seen the clips. I don't have it here, but he's pretty good. He was hitting the bullseye. Maybe he can get into this competition, qualify. And if he medals, man, it will be a huge story, especially being from LA, being from California. Dr. Dre winning some type of medal in the Olympics in 2028 will be a huge, huge deal. Well, as we move forward, we will switch it up just a little bit. It's more news-based. And it's kind of what I kind of brought the sport up a little bit earlier with Melo, but it's the soccer league. Vinicius Jr. is reported to be offered a 5-year contract worth $1 billion by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and that's a lot of money. He's 24 years old. I think he makes around 24, $25 million a year. I think he plays for Real Madrid in the Premier League. And what they're saying is kind of like false news, or they're saying these type of deals are for players that are on the back end of their career and they're getting that big money. They have big names and they get the big money to retire with. He's too young and the level of competition wouldn't be the same. So, and his teammate, Mbappe, I believe is how you pronounce it, was offered 750 last year from Saudis, the Saudi Arabians, the Saudi Public Investment Group as well. And that's a lot of money as well. I don't remember the year's amount, maybe close to about the same. But yeah, he's playing on the same team as Vinicius Jr. And they're playing. They want the competition right now. The money isn't as important. So once he gets a little bit older, I'm sure the money will probably be even bigger by that time. And if he continues to have a great career that he's having now, the money will still be there. So yeah, just go ahead and try to get your championship in the Premier League. Like I say, I wanted Melo to get, and your World Cups and your Olympics. And then of course, go ahead and get that big payout later on. But that's a lot of money, man. We wish we can get that over here at Sports King Vision and the No Face Sports Show. And over there to my guys, the guys, my creative partners and friends at Liquorland and Get Your Bars Up Media. Go subscribe to them. But yes, it's interesting to see that, that amount of money's floating out there. It's great to be an elite athlete, right? But as we move forward, we're going to touch on a little bit of something else. We're going to go into the video game mode. And it's sports, obviously. We're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore basketball games. This floated around for me. Thought it was interesting. And I like all these games. Played all of them and had fun with all of them. But I probably would rearrange it a little bit. In my opinion, you guys can let me know in the comment section. Again, like the content and subscribe. But in my opinion, I would take a couple of these games off. A few of them. Number one, I will replace the NBA Live with NBA Live 95 because that's where it started from. That's what started the franchise. That's what made basketball games change, was 95. And that was a great game, even though NBA 2005, NBA Live 2005 is better, but that's the one that set it off and changed the industry. As far as the streets, NBA Streets, number two, I would take that off because you already got an arcade kind of game on this Mount Rushmore, and that was bigger. I want to say success, but it made bigger waves than NBA Street. It was a game changer, and he's heating up. He's on fire. Other games try to copy them after that, but I would put an OG game on here, Double Dribble, because I feel that changed the game as well. Even though there was Magic versus Bird, I'm sorry, it was Magic versus Dr. J. No, it was Bird versus Dr. J and Bird versus Jordan. But the Double Dribble was the one that really took things into a different level, and people tried to replicate and make better games after that. So I will put Double Dribble on there. And as far as 2K is concerned, that was a great game right here. I believe Jordan is on the street game as well. Can't remember if he's on live. But 2K, I will put the original 2K with Allen Iverson. That changed the industry. The original NBA 2K. So for me, it'd be NBA 2K, the first one, Double Dribble, NBA Live 95, and NBA Jam. Start out the Mount Rushmore of games for basketball. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. How would you arrange it, and what would you put in place? We will move forward, and we'll talk a little bit about wrestling. Let's see what we got. Randy Orton is the youngest heavyweight. The anniversary, number one, of him being the youngest heavyweight champion of all time in WWE. Shout out to him, and always a congratulations. And it got me thinking, would there be somebody that could ever possibly break that record? And I'll put this young man's picture up, but I'm not sure if he's going to break it. but I'm just using them as an example to say it'll be someone like him. Jacob Henry, who's young, he's probably around 18, 19 right now. He's joining the WWE Performance Center to get, start his journey to be a professional wrestler. His Hall of Fame dad right there, the heavyweight champion himself. Yeah, but somebody that starts young, has been in the business and been around the business for years, I think that will break that record. Randy was around it forever with his dad, Bob Orton, and I think that someone of this ilk will eventually break it and become the youngest champion. So records are made to be broken. I've seen it online because people were saying that it won't be broken. I believe it will. Just got to get the right mix up and match up, and eventually it will happen. And speaking of wrestling a little bit further, want to take it here with Mount Rushmores again. You see those guys there, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, and Undertaker. They got them at the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. I think that's a great list right there. I'm still a little, perturbed or upset with Hogan, but he deserves to be up there. He changed the game. Wrestling would not be where it's at without him and Vince. And of course, he's a representation because he's the first created superstar, really, of the industry, of the newer industry when it was revamped in the golden era. But I looked at this other Mount Rushmore and he was not on it. And again, right now, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I don't think you can make a WWE Mount Rushmore without him being on it. Right now it would either be The Rock or Roman. I would take off. All of them on these picture were pretty much created in WWE, even though Undertaker, Mark Calloway, was wrestling in WCW first. That Undertaker character lasted so long and it was a WWF invention. He's got to stay on there. I probably, even though The Rock is huge and he's probably my favorite still, I probably would put Hogan in that place because, he walked away from the business. And of course, he's still an ambassador and of course an owner now, or on the board. But yeah, he walked away. So I would have to put Hogan up there anyhow because there would be none of these gentlemen here without that. Even though, again, not the biggest fan right now, you got to have Hogan on the Mount Rushmore. It's ridiculous not to have him on there just because you don't like him. But that's enough caping for him. But I do believe, yeah, you may not enjoy or agree with things he does, but or anybody does. But when they deserve certain things, you got to give it to him. That part I will say he deserves. Well, let me know in the comment section, of course. Definitely again, like the content and subscribe to the channel. We're close to wrapping up the show. We got one more topic to go on this No Face Sports Show, Sports Game Vision with your host Hank. But we got one more topic. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's basketball, but Big Perk came out with a list. The greatest point guards in NBA history. John Stockton 5, Russell Westbrook 4, Oscar Robertson 3, Magic Johnson 2, and Steph Curry 1. And again, it's his list. But I do feel that one person needs to be on there. And it's this guy right here, Isaiah Thomas. I don't understand how he's not in a top 5 point guard list. He may not be in the greatest players of all time list, and that's okay. That's all right. Anyone that watched him knows how great he was. But to not be in the top 5 list, 2-time champion, finals MVP, top 75 player, was in the top 50, national champion, Players League, president of the Players League, should have been an Olympic gold medalist, but of course, got screwed in 80 with the war. Of course, got screwed again in 92 with the whole mix up between him and the players, not supporting them, but that's okay. We know how great he really is. He should not be left off of the list. When he retired, he was the all-time leader in assists. Magic retired all-time leaders in assists. Then Isaiah passed them. Then Mark Jackson passed them both, and then John Stockton, took the list and probably almost unattainable to get. But he's a champion. How can you leave him off that list? All the accolades that he does possess, especially being a champion. He's not a league MVP like Russell. And if we base it off that, then Steve Nash should be on that. He's got 2 of them, right? Point guard. So, yeah, just, Isaiah talks glowingly about Oscar Robertson. He talks glowingly about a lot of players, but especially Oscar, because we have recency bias and we don't really look out for the past players like we should. But he always talks them up when he can, how great he really was. And he was shooting 3-point shots before the line. He just wasn't, registered because there was no line back then. So he's a 2-time champion himself. And Steph Curry, I don't necessarily consider him a point guard, but I have to because he's listed as that. And, he's going to be put in that conversation no matter what. And his accolades are ridiculous right now. His points in the 3-pointers, he's all-time leader in that. And of course, the 4-time champion, finals MVP, 2-time league MVP. And the list keeps going. Magic, of course, his resume is large. And he only played, he didn't play as many seasons as all the rest of these guys. And he's up that list on different categories. So, yeah, definitely got to put Zeke in there, Isaiah. I just feel like he gets slighted a lot now, especially with that whole Last Dance thing and the Olympic stuff. So, shout out to, on this platform, I'm a big up. That's my favorite player of all time. So, and just shouting out Isaiah again. He just said he feels LeBron is the best player of all time over everybody else. He was ruling all the categories and he feels he's the greatest. So shout out to Isaiah, and let me know who your favorite point guards are all time in your top list. I do have to fill out mine right away, just off the top. Steph would be up there. Magic would be up there. Isaiah would be up there. I would probably put Oscar Robertson up there. And the 5th one that I would have to fight for between, I have a fight between Stockton, Russ, and Steve Nash. And I might even put Chris Paul in that. And I know people will say that's crazy, but yeah, it's a fight for that 5th one. That's the 4 I can think of right off the top. But yeah, let me know. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, comment, share. We will be back with more shows, more content. No Face Sports Show. Have a good evening. Have a good day. And we will be back. Peace.